Why do we cry when we're sad, yet also when we experience physical pain or even overwhelming joy? This paradox has long puzzled humanity, as tears, those salty rivulets, tracing our cheeks, seem to emerge from the depths of our most varied emotions and sensations. Yet, what if the tears that fall during grief are not quite the same as those that stream from our eyes when we're chopping onions or blinking away dust? Recent scientific discoveries reveal that not all tears are chemically alike. Tears shed in moments of emotional release differ fundamentally in their composition from the basal tears that lubricate our eyes, or the reflex tears that flush out irritants. Imagine a scene many of us know well: someone watching a profoundly moving film, their eyes welling up until tears spill freely, their chest tight with emotion. While the world sees an expression of sorrow or joy, science peers deeper, asking, what exactly are those tears, and what do they reveal about our inner lives? This fascination with tears is not new. Across ancient civilizations, tears carried rich symbolic weight, often believed to hold spiritual or even physical powers. The Egyptians might have seen tears as a sacred offering to the gods. The Greeks pondered their role in the soul's journey, and in many cultures, tears were thought to cleanse not only the body but the spirit. These early myths reflected an intuitive recognition that tears were more than mere drops of water. Tears might be a language, a bridge between body and soul, the visible evidence of invisible turmoil or joy. But it was not until the 20th century that science began to unravel the mystery with rigorous precision. In a groundbreaking experiment, biochemist William Frey analyzed tears and discovered they carry stress hormones and mood-related chemicals, such as prolactin and leucine and enkephalin, a natural painkiller. This revelation hinted that tears could serve as a secret code, a chemical message from the body that reveals what words sometimes cannot. Could it be that tears are the body's way of communicating complex emotions, a hidden language that speaks of pain, relief, or profound joy? This question lingers, compelling and unresolved. Why does the human body produce distinct types of tears for different triggers, be it sadness, physical injury, or simple eye irritation? The mystery remains tantalizing, a window into the intimate dialogue between our physiology and our emotional world. As science continues to explore these shimmering droplets, we are left to wonder, what stories do our tears tell when words fall short? Tears serve a remarkable range of biological functions, far beyond the simple act of keeping our eyes moist. At their most basic, tears protect and lubricate the eyes, ensuring vision remains clear and comfortable by constantly bathing the cornea with a delicate film of moisture. This fundamental purpose is carried out by the lacrimal gland, small, intricate organs nestled above each eye that produce tears in response to both routine and reactive signals. These glands operate through complex neurological pathways, triggered not only by physical irritants but also by emotional stimuli, revealing a sophisticated communication network between our brain and eyes. Scientists have classified tears into 3 distinct types: basal tears, which maintain eye health by providing constant lubrication; reflex tears, which spring forth in response to irritants such as smoke or dust; and emotional or psychogenic tears, which flow during intense feelings ranging from sorrow and frustration to overwhelming joy. The understanding of tears has evolved dramatically over centuries. Philosophers like Aristotle speculated about tears as expressions of the soul's grief, attributing them to the body's natural response to emotional imbalance. However, it was not until the advent of modern neurobiology and biochemical analysis that we began to decode the complex physiology behind crying. Recent research has uncovered that emotional tears are biochemically distinct. They contain higher levels of stress-related hormones such as prolactin and leucine, and enkephalin, a natural painkiller produced by the body. These findings suggest that crying may serve a critical role in stress relief, helping to regulate mood and alleviate emotional tension by expelling these compounds. The physiological act of crying, therefore, is intimately tied to mental well-being, offering a biological release valve during moments of emotional upheaval. Tears also play a significant role in human social bonding. The act of crying can foster empathy, elicit support, and strengthen connections between individuals, highlighting crying as a deeply social and communicative behavior. Furthermore, emerging studies suggest that tears may even contribute to immune function by flushing out irritants and possibly influencing systemic health through the release of various biochemical agents. Yet, the cultural attitudes toward tears vary widely across societies. In some cultures, emotional crying is stigmatized as a sign of weakness or vulnerability, while others embrace tears as a powerful and necessary expression of the human experience. These contrasting perspectives reveal the psychological and ethical complexities surrounding emotional crying, influencing how individuals process grief, trauma, or joy. For many today, understanding the biology and cultural significance of tears can be profoundly relevant. Recognizing that tears serve not only as a physical reaction, but also as a potential healing mechanism may empower individuals to embrace crying as a healthy response to emotional pain, trauma, or social isolation. In an era marked by increasing mental health challenges, appreciating the science and symbolism of tears could offer new pathways for coping and connection. This awareness encourages us to reconsider tears not as embarrassing displays to be hidden, but as vital expressions of our humanity, biological, emotional, and social threads woven together in every drop that falls. A provocative scientific dilemma emerges from the discovery that emotional tears contain mood-altering chemicals designed to help regulate our emotional state. Yet not everyone cries with the same frequency or at all. Some individuals seem almost impervious to tears, while others shed them readily. This inconsistency has drawn the attention of geneticists and neuroscientists who have begun to uncover the biological roots behind individual differences in tear production and emotional expression. Genetic variations appear to influence how our bodies respond to emotional stimuli, while brain imaging studies reveal that neural circuits tied to empathy, stress, and emotional regulation differ markedly among people. These findings complicate the simple idea that crying is a universal, uniform reaction and suggest instead a diverse landscape shaped by biology, personality, and experience. Gender differences further deepen this complexity. On average, women cry more frequently than men, a fact that has long sparked debate. Is this disparity rooted in biology, shaped by cultural norms, or a combination of both? Some research points to hormonal influences, particularly the effects of prolactin and other neurochemicals that fluctuate differently between sexes, while socialization plays a powerful role, teaching men from a young age to suppress tears and equate crying with weakness. This intersection of biology and culture creates a nuanced picture where nature and nurture intertwine, shaping how emotions are outwardly expressed and experienced internally. Adding another layer to this intricate puzzle, recent studies have uncovered surprising properties of tears themselves. Some contain natural antibacterial agents like lysozyme, suggesting that tears serve not only emotional but also complex protective functions. This dual role challenges the assumption that tears are merely byproducts of feeling and points toward an evolutionary advantage in their production. Yet, if tears chemically help regulate mood and flush out stress hormones, what are the consequences when we suppress crying? This question is both scientific and deeply personal. Emerging evidence suggests that bottling up tears may impede emotional processing, potentially harming mental health by trapping stress and frustration inside rather than releasing it. Through the body's natural channels, the scientific community remains divided. Some researchers argue that tears are an evolutionary leftover, a vestige from our ancestors with no current adaptive function, while others believe crying is crucial to emotional survival, a biological necessity for mental balance and social communication. These conflicting perspectives mirror the tension society places on crying itself. Cultural expectations often discourage emotional expression, particularly among men, shaping not only behavior but potentially even biological responses over time. This intersection of societal norms and biological realities sets the stage for a complex exploration. How do our cultural stories about crying influence the science? And conversely, how might scientific insights challenge and reshape those stories? The dilemma of tears is as much about identity, vulnerability, and social acceptance as it is about biochemistry and neurology, making it a deeply human mystery still waiting to be fully understood. Throughout history, crying has carried a complex web of social and psychological meanings, often reflecting the shifting tides of power, vulnerability, and cultural norms. In royal courts of the past, tears could signify strength or weakness. Monarchs who cried in public might be seen as compassionate rulers connecting with their people, or, alternatively, as fragile leaders unfit to govern. This duality continues. In modern times, particularly around men's crying, where societal stigma often frames tears as a sign of weakness or loss of control, discouraging emotional openness and perpetuating harmful stereotypes. These long-standing beliefs are fueled by misinformation and myths. On one hand, tears are dismissed as mere signs of frailty, while on the other, they are celebrated as markers of authenticity and emotional honesty. This tension creates a confusing landscape for individuals trying to navigate their own emotional expressions amid conflicting messages about vulnerability and strength. Exploring crying beyond humans adds another layer to the conversation. While many animals produce tears to lubricate their eyes, evidence for emotional crying is scarce and highly debated. Some primates and elephants have been observed showing behaviors suggestive of grief or distress, yet they do not shed tears, as humans do. This apparent uniqueness of emotional tears in humans raises profound questions about the evolutionary purpose of crying and what it reveals about our social and psychological complexity. It underscores how deeply intertwined tears are with our capacity for empathy, social bonding, and symbolic communication traits that set us apart in the animal kingdom in contemporary society. The question of whether crying should be encouraged in therapeutic settings, schools, or workplaces remains contentious. Some argue that allowing tears creates spaces for healing, vulnerability, and genuine connection, while others worry it could be disruptive or viewed as unprofessional. This debate mirrors broader cultural discomfort with emotional expression, revealing how institutional attitudes shape the acceptance or suppression of crying. At the biochemical level, research has uncovered fascinating distinctions in the chemical makeup of tears shed in different emotional states. Tears produced during grief contain elevated levels of stress, hormones, and pain-relieving peptides, whereas tears of joy may involve a different blend of neurochemicals, pointing to the nuanced ways our bodies respond to contrasting emotions through the same physical act. Yet, not everyone experiences crying in typical ways. Conditions like alexithymia, difficulty in identifying and expressing emotions, and depression can result in an absence or significant reduction of tears, complicating both scientific understanding and social perceptions of emotional health. These cases highlight how crying is not a universal or straightforward indicator of feeling, but a complex interplay of biology, psychology, and environment. Social media has further transformed the cultural meaning of crying, turning private moments of vulnerability into public spectacles. Viral videos of people breaking down in tears can evoke widespread empathy, but they also risk commodifying pain and blurring the line between genuine expression and performative display, turning tears into cultural currency, or spectacle rather than intimate emotional releases. At the heart of these layers lies a powerful tension. Tears are a biological truth, a natural and complex response of the human body, yet they collide with cultural denial, misinformation, and conflicting social expectations. This clash shapes not only how we understand crying scientifically, but also how we live and relate to one another emotionally. It raises pressing questions about authenticity, resilience, and the human need for connection, questions that remain unresolved as we continue to grapple with the many meanings hidden within every drop of a tear. A surprising and transformative discovery has emerged from recent scientific research. Tears may function as a biochemical language of emotional release and social connection, far more profound than previously understood. Neurochemical studies now reveal that emotional tears interact with the brain's limbic system, the center of emotion and memory, and influence the release of social bonding hormones like oxytocin. This means that crying is not simply an outward sign of feeling, but a dynamic process that actively modulates our internal emotional landscape, promoting empathy and social cohesion at a biological level. The paradox at the heart of this discovery is striking. Tears both isolate us in our personal pain and simultaneously connect us deeply with others. Through the intricate chemistry of tears, our bodies signal vulnerability and invite compassion, fostering bonds that are essential for human survival and psychological resilience. The real twist lies in the active role tears play in changing our emotional physiology. Far from merely reflecting inner states, emotional tears help literally wash away stress chemicals such as cortisol and adrenaline, functioning as a natural detox for the psyche. This physiological cleansing underscores crying as a powerful evolutionary adaptation, a mechanism honed over millennia to support mental health and maintain social harmony. Rather than viewing tears as a weakness, this perspective elevates crying to an essential survival tool, one that enables emotional regulation and strengthens communal ties. The implications are profound. Could therapies that encourage intentional crying harness this biochemical language to promote healing and emotional balance? Such an approach might revolutionize mental health treatment, integrating the biological power of tears with psychological care. Ultimately, this scientific revelation invites a profound philosophical shift in how we understand crying. Tears are no longer just drops of salty water, but a form of chemical poetry, expressions of human vulnerability and strength intricately woven together. They embody the paradox of our existence: fragile yet resilient, isolated yet deeply connected. This newfound appreciation for tears as an essential aspect of our emotional and social fabric challenges long-held stigmas and offers a richer, more compassionate view of what it means to be human. Today's scientific consensus recognizes tears as intricate biochemical signals that serve a multitude of intertwined biological, emotional, and social functions. Far from being a simple physical reaction, tears operate at the intersection of body and mind, reflecting and shaping our internal states while fostering connection with others. This evolving understanding is reshaping fields from psychology to medicine and social sciences, inspiring more holistic approaches to emotional health that validate crying as a natural and necessary process. Therapists increasingly encourage patients to embrace tears as part of emotional healing, while medical research explores tear analysis as a window into stress, disease, and mental well-being. Social scientists examine how crying behaviors influence group dynamics and cultural expressions of vulnerability, underscoring the multifaceted role tears play in human life. Recognizing the science behind tears offers practical insights that can help individuals accept emotional expression without shame or fear. It encourages a compassionate perspective on mental health challenges, reminding us that tears are not signs of weakness, but powerful tools for resilience and recovery. In this light, tears become symbols of healing and communication, bridges between internal experiences and external relationships. This perspective invites us to honor our emotions and those of others, fostering empathy and authentic connection in a world often quick to dismiss vulnerability. At the same time, ongoing research continues to unravel the mysteries of tear biology and its impact on emotional health, raising new questions about how tears might be harnessed therapeutically or what other hidden roles they might play in our being. Ultimately, the story of tears is one of hope. They are a natural language our bodies speak, a soothing balm for emotional wounds, and a thread that weaves us into the fabric of human connection. Embracing the power of tears allows us to acknowledge our shared humanity, fragile, complex, and profoundly resilient. As science deepens our understanding, we are invited to welcome tears not as burdens to hide, but as gifts that heal, connect, and reveal the beautiful complexity of being human. Tears, in their quiet and unassuming way, remind us that vulnerability is not a flaw but a profound strength woven into the very fabric of our existence. They are nature's eloquent gesture, a silent language that transcends words, cultures, and barriers, speaking directly from the heart to the shared human experience. In every drop that falls, there is a story of pain, joy, loss, or relief, a narrative that connects us across time and space in a universal bond of empathy and understanding. Tears invite us to slow down and listen, not only to the world around us, but to the deeper currents within ourselves. They challenge the harsh silence imposed by societies that often shun visible pain, urging us instead to recognize that to cry is to be fully alive, to feel deeply, and to connect authentically. What might we learn if, rather than turning away from tears, we truly embraced them as messengers of our inner truth? What wisdom could flow from acknowledging the strength it takes to show emotion openly, to reveal our fragility without fear or shame? In a world that frequently prizes stoicism and emotional restraint, tears stand as a quiet rebellion that the most profound connections are forged not through hardness, but through the courage to be seen in our most vulnerable moments. They offer us a gentle invitation to honor the full spectrum of our emotional lives, to accept our tears as essential threads in the tapestry of what it means to be human. In doing so, we not only heal ourselves, but create spaces where others can do the same, fostering a more compassionate, empathetic world where the language of tears is heard and valued.